If Unforgettable has taught me anything, it's that you should never have a staring contest with Katherine Heigl. Oh fuck man, I give up.
That's no moon.
So today we're here to talk about Unforgettable, a movie which is probably going to be very forgettable in a couple of months' time.
Irony!
Now that is irony!
Alright.
As it stands now, it's really very unforgettable and I would like to forget it. But the movie stars Rosario Dawson as a woman called Julia, who's getting married to a man called David, I believe.
Yeah.
And his crazy ex, played by Katherine Heigl. What's her name? What's Katherine Heigl's
Tessa.
name? Tessa.
Which is a really obscure
very great
name that I've never met a Tessa.
I've never met a Tessa.
Is it short for something?
Wasn't that the name of the bear from Noddy? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But she's like this crazy, obsessive ex who comes back into the lives of David and Julia, and their daughter's involved. And it's just a story about her being jealous, about Katherine Heigl being jealous, and being a psychotic bitch for an hour and a half. And that's our movie. It's not really much explanation to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So what did you think of Unforgettable, Dale?
It was rather forgettable in the long run, I think. I don't really know why it was called Unforgettable. Like,
No reason.
do you remember we saw Lion and we were like, why is it called Lion? And at the end it was like, this is why it's called Lion. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. There's no reason this is called Unforgettable.
That's it.
Rosario Dawson was serviceable, but Katherine Heigl went full on, just
like,
absolute mental bastard.
You could tell they were both trying quite hard. I haven't seen Katherine Heigl in a movie since about 2009, so she's very irrelevant now. But you could tell they were trying hard. Katherine Heigl a bit too hard. Rosario Dawson, I think she's great. She's a great actress. I think she's great as Claire Temple in the Netflix series, the Marvel series. And I just like her as an actress. She's very likable. And in this film, you just couldn't even get behind her performance because everything that happened in the film was so just out there and so crazy. And it was like watching another 50 Shades film with a bit less sex. I mean, you get a bit of sex. Like, there's just one random
but
throwaway
like 50
sex scene.
Shades, we mentioned it, or I mentioned it, that it's not enjoyable. Like,
No.
I don't see how anyone could watch that and get any kind of, emotional or physical pleasure from the sex.
Well, it's just Katherine Heigl humping a guy in the car. And
Yeah.
that's it. But my favourite scene of the entire film was like, it was kind of like a montage, but it was like cutting back and forward between Rosario Dawson and the husband bloke, and they were like having passionate love sex, and then you've got Katherine Heigl just pleasuring herself on like reading messages on the internet, and it's like it's cutting back and forward, so you're like, yeah, I can feel the passion between this couple, and then you're like, and Katherine Heigl's touching herself and enjoying it, and that was like the best scene in the entire film because it was just so bizarre to watch. It was great.
It was really weird. They've tried to make you realise so heavy-handedly that Katherine Heigl's crazy. Like, there's bits where it's like, damn, she did all this stuff once and she's mental. And it's like, we already know she's mental just from the way she fucking
That's
talks.
true.
The way she talks, she's like, my daughter's got ballet. She forgot her ballet shoes.
And she
Here are
looks
the
at you
ballet shoes."
the whole time, like,
Hence the staring competition. thing
yeah,
at the
the
beginning.
whole time. Every single scene of
Does she
Katherine
blink
Heigl in
in
this
this?
movie, I don't think she blinks once. You just see her staring.
Not even when she's having the
constantly
sex
at
in the car. She
I
don't
know,
blink.
she's not blinking, she's just like, get out of my car! And it's like, whoa.
She's one done and then, tells
Yeah.
him to hit the road.
Never have sex with Katherine Heigl, your heart's going to get
in a
broken.
Nissan Juke. Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, I think we'll get into spoilers from this point on. I mean, nobody's probably going to watch this film anyway, and
Everyone who
cares?
has wanted
But-
to see it has seen it.
Yeah, basically. But the ending of this movie is so bizarre. Like, the whole movie's got a sort of semi-realistic tone. I mean, it's sort of, you're watching it and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, this could happen in real life, I guess.
Well-
And there's a thing that goes on. Go on, you say
I was
what-
going to say, you mentioned earlier that you thought it was going to be Rosario Dawson who was mental.
Yeah,
And I was like,
thought that.
at one point I was like, maybe, this is kind of like, I guess spoilers for this movie as well, Get Out. Like, it's all some kind of conspiracy.
Yeah.
But that was
I
too
thought
smart
that
for this
maybe.
movie, and then they just kind of abandoned it and went like,
Yeah.
oh, it's really Katherine Heigl, she's fucking mental.
I mean, but could it have been much better if Rosario Dawson was the crazy one? Probably
Probably
not. I
not.
mean, it probably would have been better acted because Katherine Heigl's just so one-dimensional in what she does. But, the ending of this movie, I mean, the whole movie, there's a plot, I guess you could call it a subplot, about this guy that Rosario Dawson presumably dated in the past, and you find out absolutely nothing about him. He's supposedly in jail at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah, he's I don't think he's in jail. I think he was on parole,
Oh,
and
well, that.
but he's an abusive relationship that she had.
Yeah.
And one of the plot points is that Katherine Heigl's character recontacts him and lures him out to California so he can have sex with her. She sends him a pair of her panties and pretends to want him again, want to have sex with him. So he shows up wanting to have sex with Rosario Dawson. She's like, "What the hell are you on about?"
Stabs him in the leg.
So he goes off on one, and stuff goes down, and like it just makes no sense.
Yeah, none of his story was explained to us. Are you having a breakdown? No, none of his story at all was explained to us. It was just like, he's a dude who abused Rosario Dawson. It's like, okay, that stuff happens, but do we know anything about him? No. He just turns up at her house and acts a bit creepy and then punches her, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't actually you that messaged me." And then it's like, well, for a start, how did Katherine Heigl actually get hold of this guy? Because she made up a fake Facebook account, because the plot is that Julia doesn't have a Facebook, so she makes up this account.
Yeah, it's explicitly stated.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, he's just in her contact list, and it's like, oh, well, okay, that was easy. And he just replies instantly, and it's like...
He's always online.
He's always online. Doesn't have anything better to do.
You send a Facebook message to someone, you don't have back for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, I'm thinking of you.
But yeah, the actual ending of this movie is fucking great. I loved it. I mean, in an ironic way. I mean, it wasn't great actually, but the fight scene, oh my god!
Katherine Heigl hits David, the husband, on the head
with a poker.
Yeah, but it's like so bad. Like it's just like she taps him.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh!
It was like a Tom and Jerry cartoon when you hear that, and then a character like falls to the floor. It was like that, and then she like tapes him up with duct tape, and there's a fight scene between Rosario Dawson and Katherine Heigl. And it was like, okay, brilliant. You know, even better fight than Jason Statham and The Rock in Fast and Furious 8. It was great. Yeah, and they're like punching each other and throwing down.
They scream and they get slapped and scratched.
It was like watching a all-female version reimagining of The Room in modern day. That's what it felt like, except you didn't have the hilarious Tommy Wiseau one-liners.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah. So, anyway, that all happens, and then at the end... major spoilers if you want to see this film, but you probably don't. There's a scene where Katherine Heigl's like holding a knife to Rosario Dawson. So yeah, Rosario Dawson manages to get the upper hand somehow, and she has this knife, and she's holding it to her chest. And Katherine Heigl just sort of looks in the mirror, and she has a scratch on her face. And the whole movie is about how Katherine Heigl's this perfect woman with no flaws, and she just looks in the mirror. And then just walks into this knife and dies.
I swear I've seen that in a movie somewhere before, but I'm not sure where. Like, maybe one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies where he just walks. I mean, obviously he didn't die. I think it was David Jones or something. Just walks into the knife and then walks back. But she's just like, yeah.
Such a bizarre scene.
And then she's like, don't let my daughter remember me like this, fam. It's like, wait, it's like, what are you doing?
You're a psycho bitch. You can't.
What was she supposed to remember you like? Yeah, you're a psycho.
You've never been a non-psycho to this girl, so what? She's going to remember you for that. But anyway, so the movie ends, and when you think it's all over and it can't get any stupider, it's all happy. Rosario Dawson's happy. The police don't give a crap. So this is another plot point, another hole in this movie is that Katherine Heigl made this fake Facebook account, and she was talking to this Michael dude. And the police are like, oh, you've been talking to this guy, and I've had to show your husband, or fiancé, whoever he is. And it's like, yeah, you're guilty of this. You've been talking to this guy, so you definitely murdered him. And then Katherine Heigl kills herself, and there's no evidence the husband was knocked out cold. So there's no evidence that Rosario Dawson didn't kill Katherine Heigl. And then they're just like, oh, it's fine. She killed herself. Don't worry about it. There's not even going to be an investigation. So everyone's all happy. Ooh. And then the last shot of this movie is just amazing.
Sets up a sequel.
Yeah, we'll probably get Unforgettable too. Electric Boogaloo. Oh. But yeah, so she walks to the door, the doorbell rings, she walks to the door, opens the door, it's Katherine Heigl's crazy bitch-ass mother, who walks in and hugs the little girl.
I'm here to see my granddaughter.
Yeah, and then it's just like, oh god, we're getting another one, aren't we? I kind of want to, because I'm intrigued, but at the same time, I don't want to waste any more time watching these fucking movies.
To be fair to it, it was only an hour and 40 minutes long. Yeah. If it was 2 hours long, it would have been way too long. So it knew, to some extent, what it was doing with the length, but didn't know what it was doing with anything else, because the script was terrible, the acting was pretty bad, just the logic of the movie didn't make any sense.
Nothing really redeemable about it. I guess Rosario Dawson...
There was no tension. at any point.
Yeah, it was like random scenes would happen and you'd hear horror movie music.
Like,
So
yeah.
it'd be like, there's a scene of Katherine Heigl riding a horse because we have to know that she's rich, and she's riding this horse, and they're playing like the sort of music you'd hear in a Conjuring film, and you're looking around
build
like,
up tension.
oh, this is so tension filled, this scene, and it's like she's just riding a horse, nothing else happening. And when you've got actual scenes of like murders and stuff, it's like, yeah, there's just no scary music for that. And then you've got a random pop song thrown in now and again too.
Yeah, God, especially until the beginning.
Yeah, the
Just
soundtrack
randomly.
was pretty fucking all over
I'm
the
gonna
place.
buy it
It
on
was
iTunes.
crazy. Yeah, Unforgettable soundtrack. You buy that shit. They sponsored us, so we
No.
had to say that. But yeah, overall, this movie doesn't really have anything going for it. It's stupid. There's no logic. Yeah, the acting's bad. Nothing else really to be said about it. If they make a sequel that they set up, then we'll watch it.
Oh,
yeah, for definite. I've got to say, to be honest, it's not the worst movie I've seen this year. I've seen 50 Shades Darker, which was still worse.
Which was the last movie we reviewed together.
It
so
was actually quite.
We've not got a good track record.
Yeah, not really, but yeah. So it's not a great movie. It's not a good movie. It's a terrible movie. But you know, if you want to have a laugh, go and see it, because the best thing about this movie wasn't packed, but there were like old people behind us. And, you know, maybe the odd couple, I don't know. And everyone, as soon as the movie ended and you saw the mother come into the room, everyone started laughing. And it wasn't the good sort of laughter, because this movie's not a comedy. People were just laughing. And when that happens, you know you've seen a bad movie.
Because I felt bad when because we would laugh throughout it, because there were
Yeah,
just some bits that were so
stupid
cringy
scenes.
and just like terrible dialogue.
And it was
And I
like, I'm sure somebody's enjoying this. Yeah, nobody
I'm
enjoyed
sure-
it in our screen.
I'm sure someone would be mad at me after the movie, and then like even the old people behind us who I thought would be invested in it would just start giggling. It's like, wow,
Everyone
what have you
hated
done here, Unforgettable?
So anyway, to wrap up, yeah, we really didn't like this movie, as you can tell. But it's still not as bad as 50 Shades Darker, so it can only be called the second worst movie of the year. Maybe third. Chips was pretty bad. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Goodbye.
It's a space station.